Good morning and what's up, YouTube? This is D from Brooklyn taking a look at the renovated Brooklyn 125 Reef. This tank has been running for quite a long time and it has changed about 50 times. Of course, I've gotten tired and decided to make another change, so let's go in and take a look. So YouTube, let us look at this tank. For those of you that aren't subscribers and haven't seen where this tank has come from, what it has been, and get an idea of what it's going to be, I suggest you click subscribe right now. So let me, with saying that, give you the specs of the tank. This tank is 6 feet long. It is 24 inches high, and it is approximately 20 inches front to back. It's basically a 125-gallon system. But I have grown many coral in here. I've taken things out. I've raised my fish in here over the years. This tank was originally set up in 2003 when we moved to this house. I moved this tank from my old apartment, and it has gone through quite the evolution. So I have to give you a little bit of history before I go into what I'm doing. This tank is not drilled. This is a pretty old tank. It is a overflow box, which you can see in the upper corner there. And it basically relies on gravity fed and the accuracy of my return pumps. Now, as a safety, if the water level drops too low, I have an auto top off, which will top off the sump and keep the level in the tank at a consistent level. Now, it's been running like this for over 18 years now, 20 years. If you include the old house, and I have had incidents. So if I had it to do again, and I will one day, I would definitely get some drilled tanks, overflows, and some newer technology. But this tank runs off the apex. It was an all softy tank, and this area here was completely covered with a cabbage leather that completely took this whole area over. I've removed that. I've cut it up. Some pieces I kept. Some pieces weren't doing good. I gave away. All of this was a Kenya tree, which I used to call my mother tree. I recently had an issue with the Kenya tree. I was cutting it up, the mother tree. I actually did not keep enough here for myself, and then it was spreading so much I decided that I would not put the Kenya tree back, but I'm going to do a complete revamp of this tank. If you want some feedback or flashback on what this tank was when it was completely overgrown, I'm going to put a little bullet up here so that you can go and do the flashback thing. But right now, let me show you what I'm going to do. So now this area here used to be a humongous overhang for my clownfish. This used to come all the way out. It was a big piece of branching coral that I had here. You can see a piece of the cover. It's covered with what you call it now. Coralline. Boy, I couldn't find the words. Covered with coralline. I've decided to make that dead piece of coral, which I got some time ago, part of the supporting structure so that I can build kind of a bridge and give the tank some height. It really gives a little bit of character to the system. I had a real big pile of rocks here, and you know, over years nobody wants to pile of rocks, so I'm more into structure. My fish are pretty big. My fish are old. Most of them are at least 10 years old, and they need cover. They're big fish. They feel comfortable. As you can see, I can do everything. I can wave around, I can jump and down, and they're really comfortable because A, they know me, I'm a dummy, they know me, and B, they have cover. They don't have to run and hide. So my focal point for this tank, before I put coral in it, before I put new coral in it, I should say, is structure and cover for the fish. So now I'm going to show you basically my plan. I'm going to grow more mushrooms. As you know, I'm the mushroom king. I got about 4,000 mushrooms in all my tanks. I'm going to cover the tops with mushrooms, and I'm going to cover them with zoas. So I'm going to start putting zoas along the cover of the top where my fish caves are. And for the base, I'm going to start putting things like GSP. For ground cover, I'm going to put the GSP on the bottom layers of the tank, where I used to have a lot of Kenya tree. All of this was a huge piece of Kenya tree, and it was spreading so fast. I decided to do a change and take the Kenya tree out of the picture. So I'm going to go with more controllable pieces. And since I'm a soft coral guy, I'm going to probably limit to maybe one leather coral, and slow grow. I may get another devil's hand. If you remember, I used to have my big devil's hand here. That one I actually killed because I was fiddling around with it. I cut it up and I fiddled around with it. And that's the nature of the hobby. You try things, you move them around. I moved it to another tank. I moved it to the tank downstairs, and it was not happy. When I moved it back, it pretty much gave me the finger. So I'm going to get another devil's hand, which I picture I will put right here in this little opening where it was before. It used to basically be just like this in that corner. You can see Sunny here loves this little corner, but that's really not your house, Sunny. That's where Gray and Red live, my two maroon clowns, Gray and Red. So I'm going to create a little bit of cover so that he has his own spot. These are my two 6-line rafts here. They like that little corner there, so I'm going to cover that with pulsing zinnia, and hopefully it doesn't completely take over the whole area. As you know, I have the waving hand zinnia downstairs, and it is loving life. There's Gray over here. Gray was a rescue. Gray was actually named Gray because when I bought it from the store that he was at, it was actually gray, and I was like, I never seen a gray clownfish, but it was pretty rough shape. Pretty bad conditions, and it was about half the size. But Gracie is a big old teddy bear, right, Gracie? Big old teddy bear. And you see he's decided to take his little spot back. So this area here is going to probably be the focal point of the coral growth. That area will just be branching structure. All the structure as far as fingers and extensions of coral that I have in here. You can see I cleaned the live rock out to give it a little opening. See how the fish can swim behind? Nothing is laying against the wall. They can basically swim completely behind the rock from front to back and top to bottom. I'm going to switch out the Ciche. I may put 2 smaller pumps in here just because I don't like the size of them. It kind of feels like an eyesore to me. So I'll probably be switching that out with another gyre, which I'll put in the back of the tank to create flow in the back. And I'll rely on this gyre for my flow in the front of the tank. And that will be probably it. I'll be piecing together which other corals I will be adding to my renewed stocking list, but I will assume I'll probably put another hammer in here, another torch. You know, I had torches in here, hammer in here. My purple mushroom colony, which I used to call the Smurf Village, is now in my nano reef downstairs, but here are the remaining purples. I'm gonna keep them in this area over here. As you know, I'm a big fan of mushrooms. I really love having a diverse palette of colored mushrooms in specific areas. So this will be the new Smurf Village over here. It used to be over here, and I still have some growing back. I didn't even notice that. I pulled these off and they're growing right back. So I may move that rock. I may move that rock over there and keep the Smurf Village over there. And I'll get some pallies, which I will put on the slower flow side of this rock, just have them growing down. And that will pretty much define how the tank is going to take off. So once again, if you guys are not familiar with the past and present of this tank, click that subscribe button. give me a like, check out my library, and you will see all the metamorphoses and changes that I have done to this tank over the few decades that it's been running. And that's it. So this is D. Subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what you think. It is really simple. You know my method. You know my saying, KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. The simpler you keep it, the easier you'll keep it, the longer you'll keep it. I crashed this tank one time 19 years ago because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was putting all kind of reactors and things hanging on the back, and basically those things failed and really screwed me up. So since then, I keep it as simple as I can possibly keep it. I have tons of equipment that I have downstairs that I don't use, that I should probably use, that cost a fortune, and I just don't use them. But my priority is the fish. My fish are my priority. Some people, coral. What is your priority? Let me know what the most important thing in your tank is. Is it the fish or is it your coral? These guys love the MagnaView. It is on my magnifying glass. And they look through it all the time. So this is D. I'm going to leave you with that. Love, peace, and hair grease. I hope you guys are setting up your tanks. No fear, because fear is the path to the dark side. Keep it simple. This is D. I'm out. I'm going to go have my coffee. See ya.